Welcome back, everyone. This is Thomas Triple T Tie with another Nooblish crypto analysis. Before we dig in and take a look at the macro news that may impact the markets, remember this is for edutainment only and not to be considered as financial advice. Additionally, I would appreciate it if you could help spread my easy to understand analysis into the world by smashing the like, ringing my bell, hitting subscribe, and leave your comments and questions in the comment section. And I'm sorry about the last video. The screen switching did not take place and the screen share didn't show the charts. So I left a comment to give you the link to my Twitter account where those charts are. So sorry about that. I will make sure to continue to double check. Sometimes I get on a roll and I stop looking at the monitor that shows the OBS screen share. So with that, I appreciate your time, and so let's dig in. This is a lot of news, so get some drinks or something, because since I didn't do it yesterday, I have I have more to cover. So let's dive in. Okay, screen share is in place. Good. All right. According to CNBC, Disney shares a slip after earning report as COVID closures take a toll on parks in Asia. No surprise there. So I've covered Asia a lot, especially China. So, big broad stroke decisions from the Chinese government has a tremendous impact on not only the global economy, but U.S. companies that do business over there. So Disney is one of them. And then we're going to see Tesla in a little bit too. So you can see that Disney reported stronger than expected growth in streaming subscriber across all the media platform, but its share fell after hours. No surprise there with their Disney Plus. That was a fantastic move on Disney's part. But what they were strong in, they were weak in the parks, because of COVID lockdown. Of course, the parks there are going to drop in attendance, so no surprise there. Cathie Wood shocks the market after dumping $12.7 million of Tesla stock to snap up some General Motors. I think it's good to diversify, especially with GM moving into the EV market. And so, but Cathie Wood has been a huge proponent of Elon and Tesla for a long time. So, but it's good to diversify, Elon says he's put the blockbuster Twitter deal on pause over fake accounts. This is according to NPR. And this is basically due to the fake accounts. So, typically when these kind of deals are taking place, they have stipulations. And he's concerned that the spam and fake accounts may represent more than 5%. So he wants to data on it. I think it's a stalling tactic, in my opinion. It's like he should have had the data and all that stuff. So I think it's a stalling tactic. There were, prior to this announcement, there were some experts did think that he may back out, and looks like they're right, but we'll see what happens. According to Reuters, the U.S. Treasury reports record budget surplus in April as revenue soar. So this basically says that, I'll just skip to the main reason. The main reason is because in April, people pay taxes. So that's why they had a big surplus. According to Cointelegraph, chairs from the SEC and CFTC they got together and they talked about crypto regulation. And basically, they need to be able to work together to find a common ground on how to move forward between various departments within the government, or agencies, if you will. So FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried was may have been listening as Bainum spoke, and Bankman-Fried was present at the conference and participated in the fireside chat a few hours later. I really enjoy what Sam is doing in with the regulators. He's very proactive. He's out there. He's mentioned that he's not a big, what is that called, extrovert, but he's doing a lot of work to get out there and fight for the crypto industry and navigate and work with the regulators. So really bullish on Sam. Tesla's China sales dive 98% as lockdowns take a toll. No surprise there. Lockdown, people can't go to work. For a large part of the days that they were in lockdown, only recently did Tesla, the Shanghai factory, open up again, but they had that program where people work and live there. So it's no surprise that in April, and they were down 98%. 2/3 of Americans live paycheck to paycheck as inflation continues to climb, according to CNBC. This just shows you how tough. And this article is about Americans, but this impacts people worldwide. And so, inflation is a mandatory tax on everybody, and so we all get hurt by it. Some inflation is good, but high inflation is not. High or in extreme inflation, it's not good. So this has to do with cost of living, living paycheck by paycheck and having the anxiety to deal with that. That's very challenging for people. So this gives us an idea about what's going on and, what people are facing and how urgent it is for us for the feds to fix it. Powell says he can't guarantee a soft landing as the Fed looks to control inflation. I believe this is the first time he said that. In the past, he's been more mild on his tone. So basically, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell cautioned Thursday that getting inflation under control won't be easy. Nope. He's like, if you think of Jerome Powell as the pilot of an airplane, and he has to land that airplane. To me, the airplane is like it's got two engines, and one of them is out, and the landing gear is somewhat not fully functional. And so he's got a tough job. I think he's doing a fantastic job. Right now, I think they were behind the ball to begin with, and they should have been a little bit more aggressive sooner. But given what he's given right now, I think he's doing a really good job. He said, nonetheless, we think there are pathways for us to get there, he said in an interview with Marketplace. So, Texas declared open season, and oh gosh, I just so not like sites that do this. They lock in the top portion. You have to scroll, and all you see is just. There we go. According to CNN Business, Texas they just passed a ruling that allow residents to sue Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or other social media platforms for censoring their content after the Federal Appeals Court sided Wednesday with the state's law restricting how social media sites can moderate their platforms. So basically, this is going to be crazy because if, just think about it. Like if someone was promoting hate and they get censored, now they can sue. Think about that for a second, the implication of that. And so this is going to be a very expensive for the social media companies. And it also raises questions around, what is censoring, what can we censor and what we can't censor. And if this starts in Texas, what about the rest of the states? And so very interesting development here. Well, according to Reuters, with China in focus, and this thing, with China in focus, Biden makes $150 million commitment to ASEAN leaders, ASEAN. That's the group in Southeast Asia countries. 150 million is not a lot compared to how much we've sent over to Ukraine, etc. But this is just to me, it's just a way to say, hey, I got your back, you know. But it's not a lot of money, but it's a way to continue to build relationships in that area to mitigate potential influence from China, especially in the South China Sea, where those islands are, those territories are being contested, with China claiming that they own all of it. And other countries said, no, that's not the case. Housing bubble 2.0. According to Fortune magazine, regional housing markets are beginning to look like they did in 2007. And if those of you who've been around, 2007 was right before the housing financial crisis in 2008. So we got to keep our eyes on the housing market and different aspects of the economy. So, God, I hate pop-ups. So, yeah, we won't need to go into details and drag this on anymore. So keep an eye on the housing market. According to CNBC, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell confirmed by Senate for the second term. Yeah, I think it's good. It's good that he got confirmed. We want to keep the pilot piloting the plane instead of changing pilots in mid-flight. It's pretty cool. Jerome's 69 years old. You know, I have such admiration for people who could have retired but continue to work because they love what they do. Just very admirable. Because I think sometimes retirement is good for some people, but for others, I think they need a purpose and a drive to keep them going. I think it keeps their mind sharp and keep them healthy. But some people, they just love to retire and chill and relax, and that's good too. A Harvard economist says the economy looks bad right now, but a recession isn't a sure thing. It all depends on these two factors, and this is according to Fortune. Let's go through these two factors and click some ads and make them disappear. So in an interview on Wednesday with the Harvard Gazette, Jason Furman, and if you are not following him on Twitter, look him up. He's someone you want to follow when you want to take a peep at the macro environment. So the one factor is interest rates. So it says, let's just go through it. One thing that runs through the entire economy is interest rates. He said, when interest rates go up, it becomes more attractive for investors to move their money into bonds and out of stocks, and that causes stocks to fall. That's true, because if interest rates go up, that means that people get more money for their cash, right? Or their bonds, and they got to take it out from somewhere, right? The other factor is the COVID lockdown in China affecting manufacturing, have severely harmed stock indexes, especially the tech-heavy Nasdaq. And tech-heavy Nasdaq is correlated to crypto. So we want to keep an eye on all these, a handful of these factors. Mainly, we got stock markets, we got the U.S. economy, we got the European economies, we got Russia, Ukraine, China, COVID. So we want to keep an eye on those main things for now. But he says that there is still only one story that runs through everything, and that's interest rate. So he's saying that there are these two things But guess what? Among those two things, one of them is the main one, and that's interest rate. So we want to keep an eye on that. And he said that, but this article said, but that doesn't mean that higher interest rate can carry no risk at all for the economy. I mean, obviously, it's going to carry some risk. According to this article from Reuters, Putin does not want to take on NATO. Well, considering that there are all those countries against in NATO, and Russia has pretty much got Russia and potentially maybe China, and I mean, we can count Belarus if we want, but I mean, like, think about that for a second. Yeah, it's like conventional warfare. Nah, no bueno. But, you know, nuclear saber rattling, Putin's got that going for him. Ukraine maps reveal how much territory Russia has lost in just a few days. And this basically showed how the Ukraine army have been able to take back some of the territories where Russians used to occupy. So that's good. We want them to take all of the countries, their entire country back, and end this war, and so we can get back to our daily lives and have less impact on the market and people and lives. Also, according to Reuters, Lavrov says Russia does not want war in Europe. That's strange. You know, like, Russia has a tendency to say one thing and do another. Like, you know, but they still think that people believe them. So for some reason, it's just like, how do these grown men lead lives when they just keep repeatedly lie again and again and again? Just, Also, according to Reuters, Moscow warns Finland over NATO bid as Ukraine's warship gets damaged. So we've covered this in the past. We want to keep updating. Finland and Sweden are expected to join or to apply to join NATO. And recently, Turkey has has voiced concerns about Sweden and Finland joining NATO, and Turkey is part of NATO already, so they need a consensus from all members of NATO for other countries to get approval. So, and if you didn't know, Turkey has some relationship with Russia, and so you can see why. According to The Guardian, this article titled, "They Were Furious, Russian Soldiers Refused to Fight in Ukraine." This article talks about an elite group of Russian soldiers who fought, and they've been enlisted in the army and all that stuff, and their contracts ended. They went home. Now Russia is trying to re-enlist them, and they're like, no. They're like, no. And because it's not a formal war, you see, unless Russia declares like a formal war, they can't force these people to re-enlist. That's why. But the fact that they don't want to go back, that says a lot. And also the morale within the current people, the Russian soldiers in Ukraine, that says a lot. Europe's gas supply crisis grow after Russia imposes sanctions. Well, this is a matter of time. This is from Reuters. Russia imposed sanctions on European Gazprom subsidiaries. Polish firm operating Yamal Europe section also hit. So basically, they're going to get a supply reduced, and they need to find additional supply elsewhere. And a contingency plan has been in place with this kind of expectation. So, and it's going to drive price up. It's going to cause more inflation for the people in affected areas in Europe. So, no surprise here. Putin's desperate troops beg for parents' money to buy war gear. Just to continue to share how terrible this invasion is on all people, including the Russian soldiers. They said that their vest is not good enough to protect them, so they they're asking their parents for money to be able to buy their own. Think about that for a second. You go and fight an evil war that you don't want to fight, and your government is not giving you enough protection. It says a lot about this evil invasion and how it may potentially turn out. According to Reuters, exclusive allies to approve Finland, Sweden, NATO bid, offer security, diplomats say. I already covered this. So the security, but what's different about this one is the security guarantee is that while their application for Sweden and Finland are going through, the security guarantees, they'll say they'll help defend them, but it doesn't trigger Article 5, which means that when a member of NATO is attacked, they all are now involved. So that's the difference. And the U.S. troops may be temporarily deployed to Finland. So that's no surprise there. According to AP, Turkey's leader opposes letting Finland, Sweden join NATO. I already covered this, so I'm just going to skip it. According to CNBC, U.S. licenses key COVID vaccine technology to the World Health Organization so other countries can develop shots. This is a very positive move to help the world combat the pandemic, or some would say the endemic now. Especially for countries that may lack the financials. If we can give them the option to produce it cheaply, and that would really help them. According to Forbes, BlackRock and Citadel deny trading catering stablecoin, and there were some unsubstantiated tweets and communications that went around the internet where both of these companies were cited as being a part of the reason why UST, Terra's UST, dropped and also crashed Luna as well. So they denied it, but I can't imagine any company that would say, "Oh yeah, we did it." It's like, of course they're gonna deny it if they were involved. But according to CoinDesk, Tether loses $1 peg. Bitcoin drops to 2020 levels up near 24K. I don't know if it dropped to 24K from all the ones I've monitored. So first of all, the night before, Bitcoin's price is varied like 1,000 or more, depending on the parent that you looked at from exchange to exchange. So it was crazy. And Tether dropped to a low of 95, I believe, 95 cents. And I had to trade Tether into USDC to try to save it. And in the process, lost like 5%. And so Tether is in my opinion, is risky. There's things about Tether, although they have mentioned that they have cleared up some of their risky paper they hold, bond papers that they hold, and all that stuff. There's no real audits. Until there's consistent real audits, nobody knows, and I don't think we should trust the executives from Tether. So. I think it's important to get an audit. And Bitcoin, I don't think it dropped to 24. The lowest I saw was 25.3K on KuCoin. The rest were above that. But it also depends on which pair you were looking at. So I'm not sure where they got 24K from. So be careful. When you see the market drop, make sure you look at your stablecoin and make sure that they are holding their $1 peg. If not, especially if you hold Tether, because some exchanges, the only pairs that they offer are like whatever the coin is with Tether, USDT. They don't offer any other one. So in those kind of situations, you might want to, hold the most of your money in, let's say USDC, where it's that company is headquartered in the U.S. and they're governed by U.S. laws. It's a little bit safer. And so you want to hold them in USDC, and whatever you want to trade, just hold that in Tether while you wait for your limit orders to get filled. That's what I had to do. According to CoinDesk, EU Commission favors ban on large-scale stablecoins. This has been, they've been talking about this for a long time, and with the fiasco with USDT, I'm sure they're gonna take a more hawkish stand on this. And basically, remember though, anytime someone targets, and this was before Luna and UST, so this is really about protecting the banks, protecting traditional banks. And they know that if they go after stablecoins, they can pretty much wreak havoc in the crypto industry, because we rely so much on stablecoin to be able to trade with different pairs. So keep an eye on this, and don't vote for politicians who want to harm the industry. Regulation is good. Don't get me wrong. Regulation is good. It's positive. Good regulation. Bad regulation, where they're in it to protect the banks because the banks' models are at risk. That's bad regulation. Don't vote for those people. This article is from You Today. Charles Hoskinson says this crypto winter will take months to find its bottom. I think I might have covered this already. I'm not sure. Maybe on Twitter. But I agree with him, and I think we may see an extended crypto winter, probably through 2022 and into 2023, dependent on the macro environment factors. But it's not whether we are in crypto winter or whatever, it's how you prepare. Like, so many people are so focused on like binary things. Are we in it or are we not in it? It doesn't matter. You got to have a plan for if you are in it, or if we are in it. If we are not in it, you got to have a plan for, recessions. You got to always have a plan so you can execute and mitigate risk and maximize rewards. According to, what is this magazine? LMAX Digital. FTX Sam Bankman-Fried takes 7.6% stake in Robinhood. Interesting move. That's an interesting move. So yeah, this is Sam Bankman-Fried. He said he wants to donate 99% of his wealth as fast as he can into the world for causes that he believes in. And so it's an interesting move for him to buy Robinhood. I'm curious about the connection between FTX and Robinhood in the long run. That's a big stake. I'm not a fan of Robinhood, by the way, because of their business model, because their customers are their products, not crypto, not stocks. Their customers are their products, because they sell their customers to these other companies so they can make the profit on the difference. And once in a while, they get lucky by listing Doge or something like that, and it blows up, Major exchanges delist Terra stablecoin as price collapse continues. And this is UST they're talking about. And this Binance delisted it. But now in the previous several hours, they relisted again. But it was Binance, OKX, and let's see what else. I can't remember what other ones, but I know for sure Binance and and OKX. But Binance relisted it, not Binance US, the other Binance. FTX, KuCoins, I believe. What's the other one? There was another small exchange that still had it. So I think some of them will need to relist it, because people need to if they need to change their position, let's say they want to sell their Lunas to like stable coins or something, I think just taking it off like that's not good. You might also want to be careful about whether you can whether you can withdraw it or not, or deposit it. So just be mindful of those. And this is the beginning, I believe. It is. We are back to the beginning, and I believe the screen share worked. So I appreciate your time. I hope and this was long, so I appreciate you sticking around, and I hope the news help you get a more global perspective on what news may impact the market, because all of these impact the market in one way or another. So if you found it valuable, or you want to help out spread my analysis to others, especially newbies and people who don't care for analysis, feel free to smash that like, ring my bell, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video for the Bitcoin daily analysis. Peace.